Hey everybody, welcome back. It's a cold one outside. It's about 23 degrees Fahrenheit here in lovely Colorado. We had about a foot and a half of snow. Let's see if I can get a picture of it out here. It's kind of been impeding our progress a little bit, but that's okay. So instead of doing sanding, which I don't want to do outside right now, we're working on the dash. So I'll give you a little update on what we're working on and some of the changes that we had talked about and we're going to fix in the last video. So stay tuned. So as I explained in the last video, we've decided to go with a more traditional Aventador interior. So I think we talked about this black plastic piece we got. It's a little dinged up, but you know, it works really well. I think it really makes the car look a lot better just with having that on the dash. The other thing too is that I found out that these pieces that fill these kind of gaps here, these are only about $100. So we're going to go ahead and purchase a couple of those to kind of trim it out. Again, we thank you guys for your YouTube support that has allowed us to get some of these parts because we're on such a tight budget. We've exceeded our $20,000 budget by probably about $2,500 so far. So, you know, budgets are set to make goals, and sometimes you exceed them a little bit. But a lot of that is because of the YouTube family that we've got through this project. So again, thank you guys so very much for watching and supporting the channel. So we've got our little dash unit here that we're just kind of sitting in there, and I'm getting the top part of the dash set up. What we've done is we've gone with some 1/4 inch melamine, and then I've done some relief cuts on the backside so that we can actually create this kind of curve. Then we'll put foam on the top of that, and then leather over we'll shape the foam, and then we'll do leather over the top of the foam. So we think the dash should look pretty good. I want to use real leather, maybe Alcantara. We'll see where we... Now, one of the other things we talked about was the slope of this piece right here, which is this body panel coming down. So I decided to rake it a little bit harsher, just so it matches the Aventador a little bit better. So we cut off the other piece. We've got our engine cooling scoop mounted in here. So that's going to provide some airflow through the engine bay. Once we cover the engine bay up with sheet metal. Obviously, we have to do some wheel wells. My friend Dario, who actually lives locally, he's doing an Aventador as well, and he says some F350 plastic covers will work nicely for this area. So we're going to try those out because they're really inexpensive. And so thanks again to Dario for giving us that tip. So we're going to form this one out of aluminum. We're going to make it a nice panel, and then we'll bolt it to the top. As you can see here, we've got one layer of epoxy on the engine cover. We're going to flat that off and probably put, I would estimate, another 2 or 3 on here because this is such an important piece. We really want to get it nice and flat. One of the things that I'm struggling with, and this is probably why we're going to eventually paint the car, is you can see this yellowing or bubbling inside. Even though I hit it with a heat gun, sometimes these come up. So we can sand it down so that you can't see as much of this, but they're showing up in the parts. You can't see them when they're inside, but when they're outside, they become pretty glowingly part of an issue. But you know what? We're just going to get this car on the road. We'll get it looking nice. I've quipped the fact that we're going to call her Fitty because she'll look great from Fitty Feet. So Anyway, but the plan is eventually to do a proper paint job on the car, and also be able to show off some of the carbon fiber from underneath that paint job. So stay with us on that. Now, one of the other things that were able to snag was, what is that? It's a door card. So obviously I just have it sitting in there. It's not even mocked up onto the door currently. So I'm going to have to do some serious adjustments to the door structure, and then we'll get that in. And also that brings up another point. You know, we talked about this car having blue accents. We had some of the blue Kevlar stuff on the car. That's going to go away. We're going to go ahead and do red accents. One of the reasons is we have red calipers. Now we have red door cards. So we're going to go ahead and use those as the accents. So I think it's going to look pretty good, but I really don't want to mess with these door cards. They're just ridiculously expensive. These ones are pretty beat up. They have a lot of dings and dents and stuff in them. I think we can fix most of that. And we can clean up the Alcantara that's in the red there. So I think this is going to really come to be a very nice interior. It's going to be, very close to the original. Obviously, the gear shift is not going to be close to original. And we're going to move that back just a hair so it doesn't interfere with the console. So we'll be breaking the tacks there and moving that back slightly. I actually positioned myself in there and figured that it wouldn't be that big a deal. And actually having it closer is going to make it a little bit easier to shift the car. So that's pretty much it. One of the other things we are doing is one of the viewers suggested, hey, you remember that ECU dash that we had, that digital dash that we were having sticking up here, to actually just put it in our dash. And at first I thought about it and I was like, I don't know about that. But as it turns out, if we use the original dash components, which I actually found for a reasonable price, again, going back to Eurospares, I camp out on their website and keep checking back when they have those types of pieces in stock. And so I got two of those. They were like $150, which is just ridiculously low in price, again, with our cheap budget. And we're going to mount that digital dash in there. We'll 3D print a surround for it. And then a friend of mine is going to do some of the graphics on the background. So we're going to try to mimic the LP750 dash to the best of our ability. So I think that'll be pretty cool. Yeah, we're going to get rid of the Audi symbol. Don't worry about it. Now, you guys also saw the fact that we got some of these vents. These were, funny enough, these were only tens of dollars. So I was quite surprised by how cheap these actually were. We were going to 3D print our own, and we actually had 3D printed them, but I just didn't like the way they looked. And I just, as we decided to go with the standard interior, this was the proper choice. Now, the way they're going to fit in here is we've got this upper dash here. We'll be fitting them like that, so they will actually have vents on the quarter window, and then the ones coming out here, and we'll try to make this dash representative of what you would see in a real Aventador. So we're going to try to again, this is really not a replica project. I want to make that very clear. This is more of a tribute. We just, we're doing some of our own stuff, but we want to really show off the amazing artwork that has gone into designing this car. And so we're really happy to be able to be doing basically a tribute car to Lamborghini. So this is a really great project of ours. We Absolutely love it, and we work on it almost every day. Well, I hope you enjoyed this update. It's getting a little cold out here, so I think I'm going to go warm up for a while, and then I'll get back to it. But yeah, we're really happy with the project and the direction that the project's going. So, and thank you again for all of your support for the channel. It's been invaluable to being able to do these videos and this build, and try to keep up a pretty aggressive pace. Obviously, the temperatures are making it a little bit difficult, but we will strive on and try to stay warm. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Again, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time.